Hello, friends, and welcome back into more Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. I am so happy to be here tonight reacting to this episode with you. It is episode 4. It is Holding the King. I can only imagine after screaming at Venus, he's going to need to be held, cuddled, swallowed, whatever word you would like to use. It is Canadian Thanksgiving today, and I'm Canadian, so I thanks the giving at the pub and had a few pints of Guinness, so I'm just going to be drinking water for this episode. The only question I have for you, though, before we get started, as I was dressing myself to do this recording, I was wondering, does this kind of gray, no, this one's not gray, does this kind of navy bluish darker shirt look better than yesterday's outfit, or I guess in your time, last video's outfit, of the pink shirt with the gray overshirt? Which one do you think looks better? I was having a crisis of confidence in the mirror right before I walked into this room to record. Anyways, I think it's time to see what the king's up to. Hopefully not yelling at Venus. It is Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, episode 4, Holding the King.
It is just not usual.
I confess I still have much to learn about palace procedure. For instance, I just pulled the king out of a hole in the vegetable garden where he was busy discoursing with the sky. Is that usual?
They're like, no, that's not usual. You're right, that is unusual.
Oh, Your Majesty, the king has not been himself lately.
I like her kindness and compassion, though. It would have been really easy to make this, like, foreign queen in a weird place with no friends kind of an asshole, but she's so kind and compassionate. So this is a flashback. Is this, are we going to find out how he got his illness? And I'm a little confused because later I perceived his illness to be like dementia or Alzheimer's. But does he have a different illness now that kind of leads into the one later? Or are they the same thing or different things? So many questions.
See that 2 of these horses can accomplish in a day. Tell her I'm busy in a field. I'm afraid she insists.
He couldn't.
I believe she's found
Sorry, he couldn't come up with anything better than tell her I'm busy in a field. There's no more important thing you could pretend to be doing as the king. Just I'm busy in a field. Good news though, they found him a bride, and that bride's probably Charlotte.
Now I ask, is that all a king is? A royal stud horse trotted out for the chosen mare? Or can a king rule in his own way through practical scientific study? Agricultural improvement. Tell me, what would the people prefer? A royal baby or cheap bread?
Right now, they have neither.
I like how much he's practiced this and how often this must have been happening. And how frustrating it would be.
Has drained our coffers. Now the American colonies threaten to withhold taxes and Parliament revolts.
This has done nothing to answer my question about what the hell is going on. However, it has made me so much more sympathetic to him. This is awful. So it seems like something that comes up when he's anxious, because he came in with a fuckload of swagger. It was only when he found out he was going to have to get married that he got anxious and had to do this.
Nonsense. That the king's condition is not merely physical, but nervous.
Do you understand what you are saying, sir?
That is treason.
I like the idea that it can be treason to just like properly diagnose and try and treat the problem that the monarch is having. Like, it kind of just underpins how fucking stupid this whole thing is, you know?
Proper doctors.
The proper doctors have failed me, so I have had to cast a wider net.
Yeah, but you are the proper doctors, and this time I'm pretty sure we're blowing smoke up people's ass to cure, like, liver disease or something. So shut up. Get out of here. Let's try the new people. Yeah, you've tried our dumb shit that doesn't work. What dumb shit do you got? Yo, I've been to therapy before. I've had a pretty great mental health most of my life, but I've still been to therapy. And you know what? Treating things with the voice can be very helpful. Like how she had to cast a wider net to find a dude just willing to talk to him. That's like it's all so tragic, but it's very funny in that sense. So now we're flashing back to the wedding day from the first episode. This is probably just before he goes to the garden, yes? And we know he's fine in the garden.
You are perfectly right.
That's treason.
Wait, no. He is right.
Yeah, get the swords out. You ain't allowed to slap the king. That was a large bet that he was going to be okay with that. Wow, that was ballsy, because that'll get you killed nowadays. Never mind back in 1810 or whenever this is. 1750, I don't know. This is after the American Revolution, around there, so 1776-ish. 1780, we'll call this. This is happening in 1780. I do find it weird they did a flashback and then did the credits and are still in the same flashback.
I have decided I am your king.
Oh, and this is going to send him into a whole anxious spiral, isn't it? Oh, no. This adds many layers to it. This is very cleverly done flashback.
The king's at Buckingham House.
His Majesty is back here, now.
Oh, I won't pretend to be above them. I am them if I'm in this world. He's not even wearing his coat. Fuck yeah. Wait, so this whole thing was a crisis in self-confidence?
Your Majesty may only be blinded by that brilliance.
Her perfection is matched only by my deformity. She belongs as far from me as she can get.
She will be here any moment.
He's like, shit, I better try and find Venus. I got to impress her. We got to get the telescope honed in on something cool.
What is this place?
Charlotte. Oh, hello. Here you are.
Will he be cross with her?
Absolutely.
This is all so much more rich when you know he's like 2 seconds away from a nervous meltdown at any time, and it's specifically like not his fault. It adds a completely new layer to this. This is very well done to commit, like in a 6-episode season, to commit this we're 10 minutes in to just mostly rerun sequences just with new information is a great storytelling choice, but a very brave one, because normally you wouldn't get away with it. But I'm really enjoying this.
If she were to flee from me, God forbid, if I were to hurt her, surely there must be something that you can do.
You are used to splendor, luxury, comfort. You have never known the
Ice
salubrious
bath.
powers of Spartan habit.
Okay, maybe not ice baths. I was gonna say ice baths are what we're using to give the monarch discomfort, to make him real relatable, you know?
This is the cure.
Okay,
Submission.
I'm not sure. This seems unlikely. I had high hopes for this guy. I think he's also a quack. This seems likelier to induce a fit than it does to scare them away. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm skeptical. This seems silly.
We have been at this for days. How much longer?
As long as it takes to achieve our goal, that was our agreement.
Our goal was to restore me to myself. Much more of this, and I will not have a self to return to.
I have gone through a complete roller coaster with this guy. This seems fucking nuts.
Dowager Princess.
Bursting in unannounced on the king. Why, she's almost as mad as I am.
There's something about a mad king that knows he's mad that's a little more endearing, though.
Or maybe.
They should have picked odd days, though, because then you get the 31s into the ones, and you can do it twice in a row in some months. Is Buckingham House the same as Buckingham Palace, but it was just called something different back then? Is she playing chess with herself? Fucking crazy. I played games of Scrabble with myself before, to be fair. Oh, it's Pom Pom. Before he was named Pom Pom. I wonder if the doctor's gonna beat the shit out of him for this. You can't just steal the doctor's dog, right? She's not gonna get any of the symbolism, my dude. It's a great idea, good gesture, love a dog, but I don't think she's gonna get it just by receiving the dog.
I arrived at my laboratory this morning to find the cage unlatched.
Okay, maybe just, yeah, missing dog makes sense.
Nowhere to be found.
It may be that the beast was not so stupid. Lapdog or wolf. Soon enough, an animal tires of its cage. Do you agree, Doctor?
The Dowager Princess has asked me to convey a message to Your Majesty.
Oh, this was the ass kicking he got. That makes sense. This makes sense. This is all trekking. Consummate. It wasn't an ass kicking at all. It was just a single message, a single word. Fuck yeah.
She called it a deformed bunny.
You know what? No ice bath. No chair today.
I wouldn't be surprised if these scenes aren't in the contract. Like, hey, if you need me to go to the gym for 6 months before I do season 1 here, I want at least 3 scenes of me farming shirtless.
I could be useful. I am a patriot. I serve the crown. You cannot.
I love this. Like, we could work together, be colleagues, and fuck, and it would be so much fun.
Stay down. No fish around the king.
He's been looking up like that for an hour, like, when's she gonna come in? I'm gonna impress her. When's she gonna come in? I've got the look down. Can she just walk in now? My face is starting to hurt. Now he's gonna get the tick. He's getting anxious already. Should have gone for the ice bath, my dude. I wonder if this show is ever gonna have a referendum on whether the ice bath was helping or hurting. I mean, he pulls it together in this moment. We already know that, but this is stressing me out watching him be stressed out. He's expecting it to go well, and it doesn't, and that's gonna be a problem.
Hello?
But they have sex in the intermediary time, don't they?
Is it all right if I join you for a meal this evening?
Emil.
Allow me to show you where my mind has been.
But I won't show you the ice bath or the chair, though. We'll talk about the telescope and Venus, but not the ice bath or the chair. Those are out of bounds for conversation. Charlotte's gonna drop kick this doctor in the head, I think. I think that might be coming in a future episode.
Does this mean you're coming home? To Buckingham House.
I'm coming home to Buckingham House.
I really wonder where the show is gonna come down on whether that treatment was working or just cruel or not. Like, what is the... Because in my, like, 2023 brain, it seems fucking crazy, but I do wonder what the show is gonna think about it. She's probably pregnant. If she's gonna have 13 kids by the time she's done being able to have children.
When I was an infant, my colic was never just colic. My colic was a disaster, an ill omen, the potential ruin of England. I've lived my entire life in terror of acting incorrectly because every incorrect action threatened the ruin of England.
That is a lot of pressure to put on a child when he's putting it like that.
Now, I have met a woman who is never terrified, who does as she pleases, breaks rules, courts scandal, commits unthinkable impertinences.
He is actually smitten with her. He is so in love. This is romantic as
The
hell.
most royal person I've ever known. Stepped forward more than Britain has in the last century, more than I would have dreamed.
You can do anything, George.
With you by my side, I think I can.
What are the odds that this is at all historically accurate? That he really enjoyed this crusade against racism? That he was like not only accidentally falling into it like everyone else, but on the leading charge, you know?
Unfortunately, I'm not free for treatment just now.
Perhaps I failed to speak clearly before. You will never treat me again. You are no longer my doctor.
Oh,
She is
congratulations,
pregnant.
Your Majesty.
And this is going to send him into the tizzy. What a good bit. This whole first part of this episode has been such a good bit of storytelling. And we're probably done half the episode at this point. And the thought of him being a father and having that responsibility and having to take care of a little infant is going to send him into the garden to yell at Venus. You think the queen would find it weird that the king's doctor's quarters were in the cellar, though, and that's where he practiced medicine. But maybe we'll get there. Maybe that is weird to her, and she just hasn't had the chance to say it to us yet. You can't even make it out. It's just going to start. Shit! Oh, this has done such a good job because you root for him to not have this problem. God damn. And then he looks so shattered, possibly from the effort of just how much they tried to keep this from her.
What is this? What is happening? What has happened to my husband?
Oh, and now we're back in the present time. Okay, how much of the episode was that? There's only 7 minutes left. That was the whole thing. Oh, it felt like, oh. So most of it was a flashback. Now we're going to find out if he's okay with her knowing about the attacks, but that she was kind about it. Was that her leaving? No, she can't just leave. No, she can't just leave. No, she has to stay. This is going to send him into another attack. No.
Danbury ball was a trial.
Oh, she's going to be mad at him.
Cutting English mutton with a dull knife.
I beg your pardon.
The knives at Buckingham House used to be sharp enough. Then, one day, they were all dull. It happened to be the day the king joined me there. On the upper floors, and suddenly locks everywhere. Locks on the armory, the kitchen, the shed where the gardeners keep...
I'm going to pause this for 2 seconds. I think I just wish we would have seen any of this. Like, we saw the scene with her trying to cut with the knife, and that was dull, which is great. I think a few more little bits and pieces of like, oh, that window's locked. That's weird. This is happening. That's weird. Would have been helpful because now I'm getting the satisfaction of having remembered the knife scene, but I wish I had more of those satisfying scenes to remember. And maybe it's just that I missed them. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe because I didn't know to look for them, I missed them. And that's how it goes sometimes.
Was when the library set of Shakespeare was suddenly missing King Lear.
Forgive me, I am not a Shakespeare enthusiast.
The one about the mad king, because the king is mad and I live in a mad house.
You forget yourself, Charlotte.
All this time I thought I was the damaged one. That somehow I was deficient when he...
The king is not mad.
He
He
is.
is merely exhausted from holding the greatest nation in the world on his shoulders.
He is mad.
What at the helm of the world? I did not even ask for a husband. But if I must have one, if I must leave my home, my family, my language, my life, it cannot be for a man I do not know. A man I was not allowed to know. For a lie!
Your insolence truly knows no bounds. You are unhappy with your situation, perched at the pinnacle of power, a mere fool plucked from nowhere.
Yeah, I have certain sympathies with the perspective of the princess in terms of the effort she went through. But most of that is just her blaming Charlotte for this, which is absolutely crazy.
Your Majesty.
Strap me back in.
Oh, no, 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 no. No, we don't want the strapping. Oh. All right. Let's pause. Can I pause? I would like to pause. That was an exceptional episode of television. I enjoyed that entire hour. My goodness, that was so good. I'm stressed. I'm a little tense. The idea to spend 45 or 50 minutes just recapping things we've already seen with a new scene or a new snippet here or there to add new context to it worked masterfully. We gain a lot of new depth for the king and how we feel about him and his motivations for ignoring the queen, and all so good. It is so good. And at the same time as well, we got this doctor, and this stuff is, oh man, this was the best episode of the show so far, and it's not even particularly close. If I was podcasting about these, and I believe most Bridgerton episodes end up in the 7s, if you listen to the Bridgerton podcast, the first 3 would have been in the 7s, where the Bridgerton episodes kind of end up. But this one might have cracked the 8s. Maybe the 8.5s. I thoroughly loved that entire hour. Man, I can't wait to see what's next. If you enjoyed that, though, check the links in the description. We got a Twitter. We got a podcast for you to listen to about Bridgerton. We got a Patreon so you can watch the full uncut versions of these. Hit the like button as well. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you back next time for episode 5, which is called Gardens in Bloom, which is probably a reference to her, having a child at some point.